Podler team back at it again. We're doing our Sunday session. That's where we focus on the mojo reading portion of our skill set, the mojo phenomenon reading, the human qualia phenomenon reading. And we do that by reading the physiological cues of humans they give off in the face and gestures and so forth, and then associating that back with activity that's going on in the psyche, particularly innate energetic preferences. All right, so today we are doing a tour of the Nizai male. That is what Mitchell has suggested for us, and I look forward to it. We've gained quite a lot of ground since the last time we took a deep look into the Nizai male. So, introductions, and we'll get to it. I am Nai Ji Coach.
I am Jaini.
I'm Archie Mitchell.
I am Nai Ji Ben.
And this is Nai Ji Glenn.
Alrighty, so we have the new updated program. Let's do it. Oh, it's same protocol. We'll do a kind of a brief, just sort of introduction to what we're seeing in the pictures. You can say whatever powers you see. Just try to keep it, not too long, under like a minute, and then after that we'll just cruise. Okay,
Wow,
so
look at that. Is it up available for download?
Ben?
Yep, I updated it today.
All right,
Yep.
you're gonna have to. I think the link is available, right? Oh, I'm gonna have to download it.
No worries. But yeah, and Ben and I were talking all kinds of cool ideas we can do for the skins and also manipulation of the pictures to help us in anomia. All right, so I'll start us off with Nizai Darren Rose. Okay, so what we can see here, what jumps off to me is that the gather of the eyes pop, and particularly not just that they have more energy, but that it has this lift to it. So the eyes pop out more and with a lifted energy. Then the smile is aware. I can see that, but it tends to spread a bit more sideways than it does up, and that's because it's logic-based. I can see the cheeks aren't moving too much in either one. But you see in both, on the one on the right where he's making them a little more tensed, and the one on the left where he's a little more loose, still it doesn't have the expectancy of Jai.
All right. So Nizai are values-based mojos and logic-based mojos. I was thinking logic-based in my head, but
The universe has changed.
the universe has different rules. Okay, so Nizai are logic-based mojos. That's because they have that the Zai, which neutralizes their emotive expression. So as their more natural state, they have neutralizing of their expression. You can see like the cheeks in the cheek area. You're not seeing emoting, and more than that, you're not also not seeing any sort of like lines or evidence that there's been a lot of movement over the years in the cheek area, and that's the case because they spend more of their time using their Zai power than their Ji power, and even when they use their Ji, as Coach said, the smile goes more sideways as opposed to upwards. So the emotive expression will really kind of end here at the midline of their face.
And I'll just add two things real quick here because he's a bit of a certain kind of riff. That was a great job, Johnny. Thank you. I'll also mention that he's on his right in both of these. So kind of going off what you're saying about him being logic-based, also he is an adaptive logic-based because you see that the sheerness is more natural in the pause phase, in the sort of swayed or waiting phase, as compared to in the forward phase like the Z-ample does.
Forward articulation.
Yeah, forward articulation or active listening, a little more forward listening, a little bit like a slight jot or something. But then also I'll mention his eyes because he is an academic, so he is going to have a strong amount of Vi use, but even though there's a good amount of Vi piercing in there, there's still the larger kind of pools of Ni that those are just piercing through.
He looks to be on his left there, I think, actually, isn't he?
Hmm?
He's on to his left, right? He's looking.
Looks to me like he's on his right,
On to his right.
but he's squinting a lot too, so I think he's
Like
also,
his head is tilted to the right. I guess that's what.
Oh, slight tilt. I'm also
Yeah.
noticing the text is a bit harder to read, especially on the knees eye part. Maybe we should try adding a little bit of a background color with.
Yeah, let's go with white today, and we'll experiment with these a little later, just because we don't.
Yeah, I
we
think what Glenn is saying, like maybe add like a little bit of a border. I'll
Oh,
look
okay.
at. Yeah, I've considered doing that. I couldn't quite figure out how to do in the short amount of time that I'm
maybe
working on it, but I can definitely
a border is
looking
fine,
and
or
see.
we could try like a background specifically for the text, like a little small, like a
yeah, like a little blurb or something.
I do think the little extra love you gave, like say to the border area in the pictures, it added a lot. So yeah, maybe a little extra TLC for the kind of font box.
Yeah, I think
add
maybe
too.
I can probably add I think even like a shadow would help, because it would
Yeah.
sort of make it
Yeah, like a
more
light shadow.
it would make the background a little bit darker, which I think would help with the colored text and and also the white text.
Definitely.
If it's black, maybe I could just not have the shadow if it's black text. That usually means the background's lighter.
Or I think you can do
so-
shadowing in the back with like shades of gray. So even though the text is black, the shadowing would still look a little different because it's actually gray, not black.
Yeah.
But I think either way
Maybe-
that would make it easier to read, because it would make the text look a little more distinct from the
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah, and maybe something similar for these, the description boxes.
The
So it would
buttons.
stand out.
Right now, there's I mean, with the buttons being deactivated, I think there's some natural. It looks a little bit hard to read just because they're not
Right.
the buttons aren't active.
It's
But
shaded.
yeah,
Got
it would probably help with that too, I'm guessing.
I remember when I was
Yeah.
working on the ebook, I added a little bit of a shading to the, specific areas, like the titling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And also, it adds a richness when that's done. Besides standing out more, it also feels like it's a little more. You're like
Professional.
engaged with it. Yeah.
Yeah, more 3D.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, I think the text along with the images would benefit from having a little bit of a shadow.
Nice. All right, take it away, Mitchell.
Right then. So Nizai, Peter, Cullen. So one thing you're going to see with him that obviously you see with Nizai is that in both the pictures he just has this just very delighted open look in his eyes. It's not like it's not a delight as much in like the visceral enjoyment or camera lens quality that you'll see with the V, but it's more diffuse and abstract. As I'll call it, almost looks like it's like laughing. So there you go.
I'm not sure this text is really hard to read though, or what I'm saying is I don't think it really is much easier to read on this background than the Cosmos one.
Okay.
The
Dude,
purple and the darkness of the background, it does kind of blend in a little bit.
Okay, so how about we go with white background for the night, and then we can try doing this more next time when
I
the
don't think there's a problem right
they
now.
just saying it is.
But I'm actually saying I don't think there's a problem.
Oh, you don't think there's a problem?
Not that-
Okay.
Right, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Okay, but Glenn, you
Right,
thought
with either one. But
right, but Glenn,
yeah.
I think did say there was that it was a little bit hard to read with the Cosmos-y thing. What's your take on the
I
dark
don't
background?
really think,
Am I
I mean,
wrong?
I think it's a little bit, but I can still very clearly read
Right.
it.
Right, but I can't. But you can't take how you do a program universal interface from just your eyes. You have to ask for a lot of eyes and see what they think, right?
Sure, but I've heard his input, but I see what he means, but I don't necessarily think it's a really big big impact.
All right.
I like it when the text personally when it like pops out, but like the white with the black background here, it pops out. And you can see very clearly the knee doesn't pop out quite as much, and with the Cosmos background, it pops out even less. So I don't know, just personally, to the eye, it just kind of.
I think that's legitimate feedback. So I think that some of the ideas we came up with for how to sort of emboss the text box should take care of no problem without having to do much else.
It seems like
Yes.
more of like an aesthetic thing than the text literally being hard to read.
Well,
So
I would say it's both a little bit.
You can't speak. I mean, I can see what you're saying, Ben, but Glenn has his own eyes. How they are for him.
sure, I respect that, but I think I can give my own opinion on. Like, I think that the text just is easy enough for us all to read. I mean, unless Glenn can, is really having a hard time reading it, then sure, but I don't see why that would be the case.
Well, I don't want to get bogged down this because it's taking me out of the trance. I was trying to move on with it, but we can discuss this more later. I think there's things that can be
Sure.
done. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's good.
It's more of an aesthetic thing of being it blends in a little bit more than we'd like it to, but we can
We'll
still
talk about
read
it
the
more
text.
later,
Right?
I think that would be a better idea. We don't want to take up time now.
Yeah. We'll talk. I think it's, yeah. So let's just leave it.
So I
open.
think Ben, this one's yours.
Okay. Nizai, Nicholas Briggs. So he has a little bit of rounder features, but I can still distinctly see that there's a certain sheerness in the cheeks. The emoting is staying quite localized. It isn't going into the above the midline of the face readily. So.
All right. So Nizai.
I guess
saying,
I was just going to suggest switching back to the Cosmos background, and that's why I brought it up, because it really seemed perfectly fine to me that we were using it.
Okay, Ben, I'm sorry. I was going to move on from here, but since you did this again, I have to say this. I don't feel comfortable when someone says that they have difficulty in seeing something and just saying it's fine for people to see, when for one person that it wasn't. I think that should be heard to some degree. So, you see what I'm saying? I mean, because the main thing is actually to drink in the cues right now for the Nizai male, and we can deal with the background. You know, we can make different choices with that, but I just want to make sure everyone can see it clearly, and it seems like we could do this background.
Right, but I don't think you're necessarily interpreting what Glenn was saying correctly. I don't think he was really saying that it was hard to read. I think he was just saying that it blends in a little bit.
I think I could be wrong. Glenn can clear this up. I thought I specifically heard Glenn say it felt like a little bit of both to him.
Yeah.
So I do think I heard Glenn correctly. But
I mean, if I look at it close enough, I do definitely see that it says Nizai, but it requires a little bit more effort on my part. Yeah. I don't think
but I think that's in alignment with my interpretation. What I'm saying is that it's essentially, you know, it's not hard to read though, is what I'm saying.
it's harder.
It's harder.
Okay, but I think
it doesn't mean anything's wrong. It's bad. It's just we're in a development stage, so feedback is good. I think Glenn's just trying to get.
But I think we should try. We should try the new background instead of.
No, I'm not saying
trying
the background isn't good. The background is awesome. It's just all I'm asking for, and I think this is a good idea. Add like the shading that we were talking about. If that's, I think that might be a good idea in order to remedy, so that we can have the background as well as the text being visible clearly. That's all.
Okay, but I agree. I think that's good. I'm definitely gonna make those changes. Yeah. But I don't see why we should not try the new background.
Oh, for this particular hangout right now, you mean?
Yeah. I think
sure.
We haven't really. As far as I'm concerned, the decision to change the background wasn't made by Glenn. He never asked to change it.
I never asked to change it. Yeah, that's true. I think I would prefer the Cosmos just for this time being now.
I have absolutely no criticism with Glenn's what Glenn said in that, you know, that aspect is a disadvantage, and I totally see it. But at least I think I do. But I don't necessarily think that means that we should change the background or not try, you know, for a hangout.
I think we need to move on. So I think if I've understood this correctly, if not, you can say that not, and we can maybe discuss more later. Is that Glenn would like it to be a bit more clear in the long run, but for tonight, it's more exciting to look at the backgrounds because that's new. I think we would all get a good rush off of doing that. And then in the future, there will be a little more embossing and it won't be an issue going forward. Is that basically what we...
Yeah, win-win, I think, right?
Win-win, right? Is that it?
Yeah, I never heard anything from Glenn that said to change the background.
That's true.
So
I agree, Ben, but you can understand as a leader, I heard someone say it was harder for them to see. The point of the ritual is to see. So I did go ahead and do that asking for him. I thought I was being polite, not rude or obtuse.
No, I agree. I don't think anyone did anything wrong. It's just
yeah. So I think we should go ahead and move on. I think everyone's good. I think everyone did good. We're good.
Cool. All right. I think Glenn, this one was yours.
Okay. All right. So Nizai Sam Cedar, or Setter, I think. I don't know if the Byfield has been addressed yet, but
No.
I'll go ahead and mention that, which is that he has the Byfield face, he has the psychic bandit look, so the eyes, they have this popping out quality as compared to the mouth area or the lips. They are more second, they come out second. The eyes, they're more in the more in the forefront, whereas the mouth pops out a little bit more later. And so that means that they're essentially a perception lead mojo, and that is something that comes across in this entire, like the forehead area as well as the eyes, having more of a quality where they are distinct from the discernments. So the face is kind of split into two different parts. That's why it's called Byfield. Eyes have the mind of their own, essentially, and then the emoting doesn't go into the eyes. Eyes are dominant in that sense.
I'll just add that as a logic base, it would be a combination of the frosting and the warming. In this case, it'd be the frosting that you don't see too much in the eyes as compared to Xi Alpha. Nice. All right, Nizai, Zach Perlman.
Nizai, DC Benny.
Nizai Z Frank.
Nizai Rex Lee.
Nizai Amazing Jonathan.
Nizai Judd Apatow.
Nizai Reno Collier.
Nizai John Boyd.
Nizai Alan Young.
Nizai Sebastian Menace Kalko.
Nizai Dermot Ward.
Nizai Josh Robert Thompson.
Nizai Deep Roy.
Nizai Mar Andio Vance.
Nizai Garrett Lizzie.
Nizai Theodore Gottlieb.
Nizai Nandan Nilakani.
Nizai Adam Reed.
Nizai Harris Whittles.
Nizai Pascal Legitimus.
Nizai Lawrence Clark.
Nizai Steve Bloom.
Nizai Alan Stern.
Nizai Theo Vaughn.
Nizai Legion.
Nizai Jean-Marie Len.
Nizai David Arnold.
Nizai Jason Jones.
Nizai Ada Demir.
Nizai Ross Schaefer.
Nizai R.A. Mashalkar.
Nizai Mike Berbiglia.
Nizai Nazim Hussein.
Nizai Michael Patrick O'Brien.
Nizai Glenn A. Britt.
Nizai Michael Boatman.
Nizai John Rennie.
Nizai Shemp Howard.
Nizai Rudy Rush.
Nizai Imran Al Aradi.
This Casa's background is sweet. Nizai Eddie Pepitone.
Barry.
Nizai Epic Lloyd.
Nizai Daryl M. Bell.
Nizai John Gabris.
Nizai Larry Joe Campbell.
Nizai Larry Wilmore.
Nizai Hal Sparks.
Nizai Eddie If.
Nizai Francisco Ramos.
Nizai Trevor Marmalade.
Nizai Dom Jolie.
Nizai Mark Lottering.
Nizai Carrot Top.
Nizai Mario Capechi.
Nizai Kevin Hart. Boom.
Nice. Nizai Nathan Lane. Boom.
Nizai Jack McGee.
Nizai Guy Torre.
Nizai Masatoshi Koshiba.
Comedians and Nobel Prize winners. A lot of those.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Nizai Bill Gates.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
man. Big boom. Nizai Dan Gilbazan.
Nizai James Mangold.
They do also do some directors. quite a few.
Directors in there too, right? Big directors.
So my turn.
It is.
Nizai Klaus Klitzen.
Nizai Eddie Rochester Anderson.
Nizai Bryce Pappenbrook.
And voice actors too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nizai Chikeo Atsuka.
Nizai J. Jackson.
Nizai Rick Dublin.
Nizai Atul Singh. Atul Singh.
Nizai Morgan Rusler.
Oh, it says actress, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Rustler, thank you.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Mhm.
It's me.
It is.
So besides like we said, like a scientist is related but separate. It's also like tech forward companies, CEOs and such. Nizai William Castell.
Nizai Eric Brynjolfsson.
Nice.
Nizai Jeff.
That's cool.
Nizai Arnez J.
Nizai Tom Rhodes.
Nizai Quentin Tarantino.
Nizai Mukesh D. Ambani.
Nizai Adcox Hernandez.
Nizai Douglas A. Melton.
Nizai Christopher Knights.
Nizai Danny Bonaducci.
Nizai Jerry Levine.
Nizai Mel Brooks.
Nizai Simon Bird.
Nizai Kees Moilecker.
Nizai James Corden. Yeah.
Nizai Avery Schreiber.
Nizai Ralph Metz.
Nizai Raul Sonato.
Yes, then comedians from lots of different cultures.
Yeah.
Nizai Johnny Shea.
Nizai Greg London.
Nizai Kevin McAleer.
Nizai Rex Navarrete.
Nizai Barry Took.
Nizai
Nizai Jeff Mulgan.
Jason Sudeikis.
Nizai Tom Segura.
Nizai Terrence.
Nizai Mikey Yard.
Nizai Stephen Wolfram.
Okay, big money. Nizai Arthur Leonard Shallow.
Nizai Ali Al Sayed.
Dennis Reagan.
Nizai Ahmed Ahmed.
Nizai Al Murray.
Nizai Blake Clark.
Nizai Bo Weaver. Oops, sorry.
Nizai Zero Mostel.
Nizai Christopher Evan Welch.
Nizai Doug Stanhope.
Nizai Steve-O.
Nizai Benjamin Rousseau.
I'm Mike Haggerty.
Nizai Johan Golden.
Nizai Don D.C. Curry.
Nizai John Mack.
Nizai Ken Berry.
Nizai Edwin Frankel.
Nizai Jeff Altman.
Nizai George Miller.
Nizai Andres Lopez.
Nizai Oliver Hardy. Laura was misspelled.
Thank you.
Nizai Carlos Mencia.
Nizai John Maloney.
Nizai Roland Gerard Fryer.
Is that Gerhard?
Yeah.
Gerhard. Nizai Riz Ahmed. Rogue One.
Hello.
Nizai Bennett Greenspan.
Nizai Sir Martin Evans.
Nizai Ken Caldera.
Nizai Al Lewis.
Nizai Mario Vargas Llosa.
Nizai Brian Moot.
Nizai Omid Jalili.
Nizai Bob Zaney.
Nizai Sean Carroll.
Oh, nice. Nizai Carl Zimmer.
Nizai Michael D. Higgins.
Nizai Arvid Carlson.
Nizai Malik Antella.
Nizai Tony Slatery.
Nizai Giannis Pepis.
Nizai Paresh Ganatra.
Nizai Uma. Too sure.
Nizai Jackie Coogan.
Nizai Tony T. Roberts.
Nizai Kaz Anvar, The Expanse.
Nizai Tommy Davidson.
Nizai Danilo Gentile.
Nizai Dave Hughes.
Nizai Tim Curry.
Nizai Yusuf Salah Erekat.
Nizai Luis Van Han.
Nizai Mark Holston.
Nizai Brian Haley.
Nizai Charles Leadbeater.
Nizai Bill Gross.
Nizai Rizwan Manji.
Nizai Matthew Cowles.
Nizai Steve White.
His teeth certainly are. Nizai Kyle Kinane.
Nizai Melvin Calvin.
Nizai Stephen Chu.
Nizai Bobby Miller.
Nizai Andy Hendrickson.
Nizai Eric Maskin.
Nizai Peter White.
Nizai Taryn Killam.
Nizai Joe Parker.
Nizai Aaron Hansen.
Nizai Brent Butt.
Nizai Dick Morris.
Nizai Evgeny Moratsov.
Nizai Rodney Brooks.
Nizai Leon Letterman.
Nizai Gary Owens.
Space Ghost. Old school. Nizai Casper Van Breeze.
Nizai Raju Srivastava.
Nizai Arturo Kester.
Nizai Robert Anton Wilson.
Oh, big money.
Nizai Alan McLeod.
Nizai Pat McGann.
Nizai Stephen Greer.
Nizai Sergio Leone.
Nizai Philip P. Dahman.
Nizai Robert Safehearth.
Nizai Joseph Marcel.
Nizai Eugene Cordero.
I can't believe Other Space did not get a second season.
I know. Well, is that for sure?
Well, it's been a while. Mitchell.
Nizai Terry Gilliam.
Nizai Paul Lind.
Nizai Josh Makuga.
Nizai Daniel Levy.
Nizai Bobby Moynihan.
Nizai Will Arnett.
Nizai George Gobo.
Nizai Norman Mineta.
Nizai Shane Bourne.
Nizai Dave Broadfoot.
Nizai Chris Parnell.
Nizai Alexander Dusat.
Nizai Joop van Heck.
Nice. Nizai Joe Piscopo.
Nizai Fritjof Sahim.
Nizai Joey Foreman.
Nizai Michael Barrett.
Nizai Paul W. Downs.
Nizai Peter Egan.
Nizai Wen Jiang.
Joe Penner.
Nizai Mike Trapp.
Nizai Stephen Grant.
Nizai John Witherspoon.
Nizai Hank Azaria.
Nizai Peter Diamandis.
Nizai Tyler Cohen.
Nizai Jeremy Ratchford.
Nizai Fraser Hines.
Nizai Max Brooks.
Nizai Herbert Blom.
Nizai Peter Donnelly.
Nizai George Charpak.
Nizai Kel Mitchell.
Nizai Jack Carter.
Nizai Ronnie Khalil.
Nizai Don Yeomans.
Nizai Josh Blue.
Nizai Paul Krugman.
Nizai Dave Goldberg.
Nizai Carl Hurley.
Nizai Ron G.
Nizai Matthew Lillard.
Nizai Robert Llewellyn.
Nizai Bob Peterson.
Nizai Kurt Brunneler.
Nizai Ike Barnholtz. This guy.
Oh, Nizai Jordan Peele.
Oh no! That's heavy.
Nizai Heinrich Rohrer.
Nizai Les Dawson.
Nizai Rune Anderson.
Oh, Nizai Stefan Root.
Red Stapler.
Nizai Andy Milder.
Nizai Roy Chubby Brown.
Nizai Dane Cook.
Nizai Andy Ware. God, they pop out so much.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Nizai Bill Schneider.
Nizai Conrad Wolfram.
Nizai Vic Mignona.
Nizai Preacher Lawson.
Nizai Cliff Edwards.
Nizai Michael O'Leary.
Nizai Jan Chipchase.
Nizai John Cassini.
Nizai Walter Cohn.
Nizai Gordon Masson.
Nizai Leon Rogers.
Nizai Chip Coffee.
Nizai Roger Bart.
Nizai John Milliser.
Nizai Dave Thomas.
Nizai J. Larson.
Nizai Tom Chatfield.
Do you want the wraparound to be a little bit narrower? Like on the previous one, it was like I noticed it kind of goes off far to the sides.
Yeah,
I could make it a little bit narrower, so it
yeah,
doesn't.
that'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah,
I think if it happens to come down even to like say 3 lines, there's still plenty of space. I'd rather have that than maybe go so wide.
yeah. I think 3 lines would still be good. The question is like whether it's good on the quizzes, because there's a little bit, it also has because there's a correct and incorrect. But I think they would actually will go 3 lines there too. And there actually will be enough room anyway, because I can always make it larger because you can physically see there's enough room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
Sure.
Nizai Alan Guth.
Nizai Brian Green.
Nizai Bill Campbell.
Nizai Neil Casey.
Nizai Claudiu Tiahari.
Nizai Tracy Morgan.
You were a tough case, sir.
Nizai Dai.
Nizai John Gemberling. Yeah, another thing about mojoing is like even when it like seems really obvious in the end, the case can still be really challenging.
Yeah.
Because it's like finding the solution.
Yeah, I believe he was an IG and then he got changed to something.
He was Nijai for the longest time just because he's so happy and just, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, his cheeks aren't moving, and he's got the round face.
Yeah.
The other guy, there's 2 of them I got one time, him, and I've probably seen his other friend. He's on there now. Anyway, he'll come up. Go ahead.
All right, Nizai Richard Heck.
Nizai Clinton Kelly.
Nizai Larry Kenny.
Nizai Ed Emmys.
Nizai Neil Shubin.
Nizai Jim Sears.
Nizai Newt Lindstad.
Nizai Douglas Asherah.
Nizai Bob Monkhouse.
Nizai R.T. Lang.
Nizai John Ratzenberger.
Nizai Raymond Moody.
Nizai Ronald Godemont.
Nizai Rob Beckett.
Nizai Ralph Harris.
Nizai Daniel Kraft.
Nizai Godfrey Dechema.
Nizai Jim Turner.
Can we go back just a sec? Is that the way the thing is supposed to say there? Arli with a double dollar sign?
Arliss, yeah, with dollar
Yeah.
signs.
Oh, okay.
That's the way.
But yeah, that could have been an error, but no, in that case it was true.
Nizai Brad Sherwood.
Nizai Kevin Bridges.
Nizai Flula Borg.
Nizai Todd Glass.
Nizai Darren Carter.
Nizai Alfonso Ribeiro.
Nizai Paul S. Bartolini.
Nizai Michael Levitt.
Nizai Jack Handy.
Nizai Makoto Kobayashi.
Nizai Elon Gold.
Nizai George W. Buckley.
Nizai Bill Mummy.
Nizai Reginald D. Hunter.
Nizai Steve Bannis.
Nizai Jack Nance.
Nizai Jim Cummings.
Nizai John Horton Conway.
Nizai Shane Black.
Nizai Brian Smith.
Nizai Ardle O. Hamlin.
Nizai Fabio Quartet.
Nizai Gabor Forgox.
Nizai Will Smith.
Nice.
Nizai William G. Schilling.
Nizai Ray Dalio.
Nizai Ray Park.
Nizai Richard Baraniuk.
Nizai Robert Wool.
From Arliss.
That's right.
Nizai Brewster Kale.
Nizai Richard Kinney.
Nizai Hamish Blake.
Nizai Charles Eston.
Nizai Larry Matthews.
Nizai Steve Carell.
Nizai Don Most.
Nizai Lawan Exum.
Nizai Don Rickles.
Nizai PJ Gallagher.
Nizai Ed Helms.
Nizai Rich Scheidner.
Nizai Ricardo Adro Pereira.
Go back real quick. I'm just curious. Charlene, how do you pronounce that middle one?
Adeusho.
Oh, okay. I was yeah. Good job.
I tried.
You did better than I would, man. Go ahead.
Nizai Beck Bennett.
Nizai Nicholas Leah.
Jai.
Nizai Todd Park.
Nizai William Ruffleshaus.
Nizai Sean Locke.
Nizai Didier Sornet.
Didier.
Probably.
Didier Sornet.
Nizai Chick Venera.
Nizai Kamau Bell.
Nizai Alfred Dorf.
Nizai John Landis.
Oh my goodness. Mentioned.
Oh, Nizai Raffaello Di Andrea.
Nizai Robert Trieber.
Nizai Paul DeLu.
Greg German.
Nizai Theodore Hench.
Nizai Lance Barber.
Nizai Peter Higgs. Oh, big name.
Nizai George Mambia.
Nizai Brian Kiley.
Nizai Michael McIntyre.
McIntyre, I think?
Yeah.
Probably.
Nizai Michael Mando.
Nizai Eugene Lee Yang.
Nizai Larry Fine.
Nizai Robert Krulwich.
Nizai Greg Giraldo.
Nizai Stefan Renazzisi.
Nizai Ernest Moniz.
Nizai Soupy Sales.
Nizai Robert Hirtman.
Nizai Brian Goldman.
Nizai Jim Meskimen.
Nizai Robert Ridgely.
Nizai Rip Taylor.
Nizai Nick Parrott.
Nizai Stephen K. Amos.
Nizai Jake Lacey.
Nizai Mike Myers.
Nice.
Nizai Lil Rel Howery.
Oh man, he's so funny.
Nizai Anthony Atala.
Nizai Joshua Letterberg.
Nizai Mario Barth.
Nizai Chandan Prabhakar.
Nizai Paul Collier.
Mel Blanc.
Nizai Jamie Kosa.
Nizai Matt Cutts.
Nizai Robert Smigel.
Nizai Luis Jose Howe.
Nizai Peter Laura.
Nizai Mario Rosenstock.
Nizai Bruce Jingles.
Nizai Rob Legato.
Nizai Earthquake.
Nizai Colucci.
Nizai Sir David King.
Nizai Sylvester McCoy.
Nizai Sean William Scott.
Nizai Joe Alaski.
Nizai Ryan Stout.
Nizai Bep Grillo.
Nizai Chris Miller.
Nizai Quentin Flynn.
Nizai Justin Hamilton.
Nizai Raph Copeland.
Nizai Scott Shins.
Nizai David Leisure.
Nizai Brian McGee.
Nizai JJ Abrams.
Damn.
Nizai Daniel Kahneman.
Nizai Graham Cohen.
Nizai Simon Rakoff.
Nizai Kenny Robinson.
Nizai John Collins.
The paper man. Paper.
Nizai Fred Tatasciore. Probably pronounced that wrong.
Nizai
Ben?
Did you hear Glenn?
I don't know. I was just.
He was
But-
just taking a stab at the spelling. I think we went through that.
Oh, I thought he asked a question.
No, that's not a question.
Okay. Nizai Jacko Sarioma.
Nizai Charles Ilachi.
Nizai Chuck Klosterman.
Nizai Bill Irwin.
He's in the Legion.
Nizai Neil Malarkey.
Nizai Darius McCrary.
Darius Naharis. Nizai Bernard Campen.
Nizai Scott Thompson.
Nizai Bert Kreischer.
Nizai DJ Timmers.
Nizai Carl Weeman.
Nizai Espen Ekbo.
Nizai Jim Nobleluk.
Nizai Michael Ian Black.
Keepers.
Keepers.
Nizai Albert Furt.
Nizai Ian Roberts.
Nizai Julio Oscar Mateso.
Nizai Bruce Mahler.
Nizai Carl Anthony Payne.
The second.
Second. Nizai Kenny Lucas.
Nizai Liam O'Brien. Planet Hulk.
Nizai
Kinda
Conan
like-
O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien, yes.
I mean, part of me is kind of like with the second that they're like it's funny because even though it's kind of like a family heritage thing, it's so rarely used. It kind of feels like really sort of magical and special when you hear it. It's like, whoa, you're like the second, you know.
Second of the line. Nizai Ajay Paul Espanga.
Ajay Paul.
Nizai Paul Mazursky.
Nizai Akmal Sullett. However the hell you pronounce that.
Sounds
Nizai
good.
Scott Thompson. I'm sure it has a proper pronunciation.
I'm sure there is one.
Nizai Roy Hud.
Nizai Vince Morris.
Nizai Peter Jurassic.
Jurassic.
Nizai Craig Kakowski.
Nizai Dan St. Germain.
Nizai Ed Byrne.
Nizai Joe DeVito.
Nizai Spike Ferriston.
Nizai Joe Lipardi.
Nizai Asif Manvi.
Nizai Hal Rail.
Nizai Nick Swartzen.
Nizai Dave DeBronkart.
Nizai Kulvinder Gur.
Nizai Phil Mitchell.
Nizai Colton Dunn.
Nizai Michael Halverson.
Nizai Eric Burlow.
Nizai John Provost.
Nizai Cat Williams. Oh.
Nizai Marvin Kaplan.
Nizai Lani John Tupu.
By Omar Ahmad.
Nizai Kevin Baines.
Nizai Rodney Rude.
Nizai Jerome Friedman.
Nizai Dan Cortese.
Nizai Jim Gates.
Nizai Stuart Lee.
Nizai Bill Kirschenbauer.
Nizai Ralph McNutt.
Nizai Cabana Bohane.
Nizai Jason Matzukas.
Nizai John Bunny.
Nizai Trace Beaulieu.
Nizai Don Messick.
Nizai Richard Ryle.
Nizai Thomas Stites.
Nizai Shigeru Miyamoto.
Nizai Jen Sun Huang, CEO of NVIDIA.
Nizai Benoit Mandelbrot.
Nizai Allen Committee.
Nizai Johan Reborg.
Nizai Keith Lucas.
Nizai Jim Carey.
Boom. Nizai Eric Schmidt.
Nizai Doug Cocker.
Dog.
Well, that's I was going for Dan. No, like, no, that's not what's written there. So
We'll just call you Dog.
yeah.
Because that's how it was pronounced. That means it's right.
Nizai Bob Mortimer.
Nizai Mario Livio.
Nizai Dave Filoni.
Nizai Lucius Dillon.
Nizai Samuel Chung Ting.
Nizai Brendan Lovegrove.
Nizai Brian Reagan.
Nizai Jamie Kennedy.
Nizai Craig Campbell.
Nizai Vince Vila.
Nizai Julian Polo.
Nizai Ronnie Shell.
Nizai Nicholas Christakis.
Nizai Mark Maron.
Nizai Bobby Slayton.
Nizai Jason Alexander.
Nizai Phil Plate.
Nizai Garrett Morris.
Nizai Jack D.
Nizai Bruce Bueno de Mesquita.
Nizai Art Malik.
Nizai Jason Narby.
Nizai Joe Derrida.
Nizai Andre Guy.
Nizai Robert Winston.
Churchill the Fifth. Just kidding.
Nizai Paul Samuelson.
Nizai Hans Morton Hansen.
Nizai Glenn Shadix.
Nizai Danny Thomas.
Nizai Joe Dispenza.
Nizai Harold Ian.
Nizai Milton Friedman.
Boom. Nizai Mort Saul.
Nizai Jolo Truglia.
Nizai Gary Owen.
By Tom Savini.
Nizai John Billingsley.
Nizai Jeremy Corbett.
Nizai Anders Holm.
Nizai Jeffrey Ross.
Nizai James Howard Kunstler.
Nizai Bassem Youssef.
Nizai Thomas Lennon.
Nizai Red Skelton.
Nizai Ike Batista.
Nizai Richard Erdman.
Nizai Jimmy Tingle.
Nizai Jason Manford.
Nizai Russell Gilbert.
Nizai Allen Reed.
Nizai Mike Hicks.
Nizai Robert Laughlin.
Nizai Patty Murphy.
Nizai Michael Niavarani.
Nizai Mo Mandel.
Nizai Gerardus Hoft.
Nizai Peter Heliar.
Nizai Bill Dwyer.
Nizai Lucky Yates.
Nizai Grant Cotter.
Nizai Wayne Knight.
Nizai Dave Madden.
Nizai Adam Ferreira.
Nizai Ray William Johnson.
Oh,
Nizai Nicholas Sadler.
Nizai Leo Corsi.
Nizai Eric Baza.
Nizai Fiorenzo Omineto.
Nizai Peter McKenzie.
Nizai Robin Ince.
Nizai Jaden Smith.
Nizai Colin Bacon.
Nizai Kevin Meaney.
Nizai Cam Clark.
Nizai John Richardson.
Nizai Thomas himself.
Nizai Lee Cronin.
Nizai Alan Carney.
Nizai Kenneth Wilson.
Nizai Vic Perrin.
Nizai L. Marino Michael.
Nizai Sasuma Tanagawa.
Nizai Alex Agnew.
Nizai Cole Elliott.
Nizai Sun Yelmox.
Nizai Luke Ski.
Nizai Brian O'Leary.
Nizai Adam Alexi Male.
Nizai Joshua Gomez.
Nizai Terrence Malick.
Nizai Colin Moulton.
Nizai Lawrence D. Fink.
Nizai Charles Pallerin.
Nizai Johann Dieselhofer.
Nizai Scott Krinsky.
Nizai Mario Kanto.
Nizai Zajiv Basker.
Nizai Mario Joyner.
Nizai Ken Shimura.
Nizai Tim Kazurinsky.
By Dr. David Salzberg.
Nizai Joseph Stiglitz.
Nizai Jack Ma.
Rectangle face dude.
Nizai James Line.
Nizai Serdar Samunkov.
Nizai Ben Jones.
Nizai Andy Kindler.
Nizai Johnny Sanchez.
Nizai Sean Gorley.
Nizai Max Grudenchik.
Nizai David Steinberg.
Is he a director too?
Maybe. I'll look into that.
Maybe, yeah.
Nizai Loreno Marquez.
Nizai Jurgen von der Lippe.
Nizai Mo Howard.
Nizai John J. Maho.
Nizai Tim Freak.
Freaky. Nizai John Ennis.
Nizai David Lander.
Nizai Kaya Yanar.
Nizai Steve Zahn.
Nizai Christopher Murney.
Nizai Jordan Rasco Paulus.
Nizai Cedric Yarborough.
Nizai John Bronian.
Nizai Eric Andre.
Nizai Chick Johnson.
Nizai John Morris.
Nizai John Daly.
Nizai Kevin Pollock.
Nizai Al Lincoln.
Nizai Brian Drummond.
Oh man. Cheetah. Nizai Patrick Gallagher.
Nizai Brad Wallach.
Nizai John Dorr.
Nizai Paul Schreier.
Nizai Ford Kiernan.
Nizai Jim Brewer.
Nizai Corey Holcomb.
Nizai Dat Fan.
David White.
Nizai Richard D. Wolf.
Nizai Stefan Robb.
Nizai Renee Garcia.
Nizai Frank Anthony Wilczek.
Nizai Ernest Borgnine.
Nizai Ondu.
Nizai Jonas Gardell.
Nizai Charlie Drake.
Nizai Basket Mouth.
Nice.
Dermo
Foxy
Troy.
Night, sir. Nizai Robert Ben Garant.
Nizai Gary D.
Nizai Maury Amsterdam.
Nizai Jake Johnson.
By Joel Hodgson.
He's got a long, narrow face.
Yeah.
Nizai and
Sorry.
you're good. Nizai Andrew Lowe.
Nizai Butch Bradley.
Nizai Just Rain.
Nizai Adam Grant.
Nizai Chris Anjola.
Nizai Paul Fries.
Nizai Luis Franca.
Nizai Reg Rogers.
Nizai Gordon Michael Wolbett.
Nizai Toshihide Maskawa.
Nizai Tony Rosato.
Nizai Adam Conover.
Nizai Sydney Lassick.
Nizai John Barrowman.
Nizai John Hodgman.
Nizai Gumel Nanjiani.
Nizai Lee Mack.
Nizai Ismo Nicola.
Nizai Nimr Abu Nassar.
Nizai Tommy Jonigan.
Nizai Dan Harmon.
Nizai Cedric the Entertainer.
Nizai Peter Grunberg.
Nizai Frank Bonner.
By Heinz Erhardt.
Nizai Marcus Du Satoy.
Nizai Nehemiah Persoff.
It's Nehemiah.
Oh, Nehemiah. These names.
Yeah. Nizai Terry Jones.
Nizai Frank Welker.
He voices everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nizai Dana Gold.
Nizai Pete Zedmusher.
Nizai Adam Pally.
Nizai Lawrence Monison.
Nizai Paul F. Tompkins.
Archer.
Nizai Emmett Biswami.
He's Archer.
Mm-hmm.
Nizai Jonas Eliason.
Nizai Bob Hastings.
Nizai Paul Mooney.
Nizai Jim Davidson.
Nizai George or Queensburg. Or is it Jorge? I don't know.
Nizai Leland H. Hartwell.
Nizai Josh Mostel.
Nizai Jonathan Langdon.
Nizai Finesse Mitchell.
Yeah, Finesse Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Nizai George Formby.
Nizai Stephen Colbert.
Kaboom.
Mm-hmm.
Nizai Marshall Manish. Or Manish.
Nizai James Andrews.
Nizai Robert Clary.
Nizai Bill Dawes.
Nizai Marty Out.
Look at him. Nizai Brian Tochi.
Nizai Mike Stanley.
Nizai Joel McKaylee.
Nizai Grammy Garden.
Nizai Ronnie Barker.
Nizai Walter Catlett.
Nizai Erwin Neher.
Nizai Robert Zemeckis.
Nizai Andrew Norelli.
Nizai Ronnie Corbett.
Nizai Kevin Smith.
Nizai James Adamian.
Nizai Dennis Hong.
Nizai Rondell Sheridan.
Nizai Leonard Abess.
Nizai Mark Shelton.
Nizai Adam Bloom.
Nizai Robbie Bonham.
Nizai Robin Harris.
Nizai Jonathan LaJoy. Like that.
Yes. Nizai Neil Delamere.
Nizai Gary Dirks.
Nizai Tyler Levine.
Nizai Nick Cole.
Nizai Howie Mandel.
Nizai Bruce Boatner.
Nizai Forrest Shaw.
Nizai Andy Buckley.
I just realized this collage is randomized. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nizai Howard Morris.
Still waiting for Keegan Michael Key.
Nizai Luguzamo. Yeah. Oh, John. I read the last name. John Luguzamo.
I thought my earphones were off. Nizai John Kim.
Nizai Eddie Steeples.
Nizai K.R. Sridhar.
Nizai Dieter Nur.
Nizai John DiMaggio.
Nizai Harry Sikombe.
Nizai Jeffrey Mishlow.
Nizai Shiro Nakamura.
By Michael Atters Attree.
Nizai Dick Martin.
Nizai Ron Carey. The what do you call it? Father to Jim Carrey, I think. Huh? No.
Unrelated, but still. Nizai David Brooks.
Nizai Philip Goebbels.
Nizai Brad Slade.
Nizai Navin Prabhakar.
Nizai Melvin Schwartz.
Nizai Rich Little.
Nizai Godfrey Cambridge.
By Frederick Lindstrom.
Nizai Eiichi Negishi.
Nizai Lee Francis.
Nizai Daniel Nathans.
Nizai Burton Gilliam.
Nizai Lenny Jacobson.
Nizai Alan J. Heeger.
Nizai Kenichi Fukui. I don't know.
Might be. Nizai John Ronson.
Nizai Adam Devine.
Nizai Avi Lieberman.
Nizai Roy Wood Jr.
Nizai Frank Nicotero.
Nizai David Angus.
Nizai Robert Haggies.
Nizai Richard Schwartz.
Nizai Jim Keller.
Nizai Avram Hirschko.
Nizai Brian O'Halloran.
Nizai Tim Hawkins.
Nizai Tony Law.
Nizai Mark Norman.
Nizai Derek Waters.
Nizai Rob Deering.
Nizai Marvin Minsky.
Nizai J. Johnson.
Nizai Gerd Binnick.
Nizai Max Tegmark.
Nizai Jess Harnell.
Nizai Michael De Lorenzo.
Nizai Andy Richter.
Nizai Brian D. Palma.
Nizai Vic Reeves.
Nizai Brian Andrews.
Nizai Jan Murray.
Alex Raimundo.
Nizai Dick Emmert.
Nizai Art Matrano.
Nizai Rob Cordry.
Nizai Russ Tamblin.
Wow.
By Chris Metzen.
Nizai Arthur Benjamin.
Nizai George F. Stoth. Yao.
Nizai Ben Bernanke.
Nizai Peter Scolari.
Nizai Ken Marino.
Nizai DeRay Davis.
Nizai Jose Bowson or Bowen.
Nizai Frank Sutton.
Nizai Gregory Chayton.
By Tony Baker.
Nizai Lass Rimmer.
Nizai Rashid Baduri.
Nizai Frank Sivero.
Nizai Hugh Herbert.
By Jackie Marlin.
Nizai Hannibal Buress.
Nizai Rolf M. Zinkernagel.
Nizai A.J. Ayer.
Nizai John Kenny.
Nizai Jimmy Pardo.
Nizai Fred Allen.
Nizai Steve Wozniak.
Oh, nice.
Nizai Craig Anstedt.
Nizai Mark L. Taylor.
Nisai Colin Cameron.
Neuroscience game theory monkeys.
I know. Wait, what
Nice.
is that?
What's
And he's
the
got like a really serious expression on his face.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's kind of comedic too, a little bit.
He
Nisai
invented
Louis Black.
neuroscience, and then he invented monkeys. Whose turn?
Your turn. Go ahead.
Nizai Helmut Qualtinger.
Nizai Mark Shepard.
Nisai Sean Hayes.
Nisai Jasper Carrot.
Nisai Gaten Matarazzo.
Nizai Luke Montagnier.
Nizai Daniel Carlton Gajdusek.
Nisai Scott Aronson.
Nisai Bagwant Man.
Bhagwan, come on.
Nisai Batra. No, Dave. God damn it. Nisai David Batra. I'm just reading the last name because I'm like, all right, I need to kind of prepare for this. And then
Last name.
I forget to read the first name when I do that.
Nizai Brian Schmidt. Or Schmidt Brian.
Nizai Sidney Castillo.
Nisai Anthony Jesselnick.
It's just like Yoda. Never say it in the right direction, but it sounds cool.
Exactly. All the info gets out eventually in a sentence.
Nisai Mark Andreessen.
Nisai Amazing Kreskin.
That's an amazing name. Nizai Richard Biggs.
Nizai Steve Bedwell.
Nisai Johannes Frost.
Nisai Dawes Butler.
Nisai Andy Daly.
Nizai Fred Allen Wolf.
Nizai Jesse Shell.
Nisai Bert Newton.
Nisai Willie Ames.
Nisai Wolfgang Paul.
Nizai Leon Schuster.
Schuster.
Nizai Hartmut Mitchell.
Isn't it Michelle?
Probably.
Nisai Don Stark.
Nisai John Reed.
Ron Jeep.
Nisai McKinnon Roderick. Okay, we should probably say in the correct.
John Johnson.
Nizai Godfrey.
Oh, you can't mess with those ones.
Julian Salamita.
Pray God. Start like pronouncing like the name itself backwards. So like or like if it has like two syllables anyway. Yeah. Or a number of syllables written one.
Nisai Pat Short.
Nisai Aaron Carroll. Request of the Sky.
Nizai Stephen M. Porter.
Nizai Donnell Rawlings.
Nisai Don Amendolia.
Nisai Will Schreiner.
Nisai Rich Hall.
Nizai Jerry Nelson.
Nizai Joe Torrey.
Nisai Drew Carey.
Good name.
Nisai Tom Papa.
Nisai Gabe Kaplan.
Nizai Johnny Lacosto.
Nizai Martin Shock.
Nisai Larry Miller.
Nizai Sean Hughes.
Nizai Sander Fabry.
Nizai Paul Ogata.
Nizai Nick Frost.
Oh.
Nizai Louis Ramey.
Nizai J. George Bednors.
Nizai Stéphane Rousseau.
Nizai Eric Lander. Seems. Oh yeah, he's DNA guy.
Nizai Matt Franco.
Nizai Sid Fields.
By Henry Macklin.
Nizai Bill Sheft.
Nizai Emory Levins. Amore Levins.
Nizai Sean Walsh.
Nizai Murray Gelman.
Nizai Oyvind Blanc.
Nizai Dan Riskin.
Nizai Adam Reese. Or Rice.
Nizai Oscar Filio.
Nizai Alan Tudyk.
Nizai Dave Spikey.
Nizai Lawrence Cross.
Boom.
So,
Nizai Maurice Lamarche. Lamarche.
Nizai David Allen Greer.
Nizai Gregory Petsko.
Oh, well, it's same English.
There's a variety right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Nizai Rick Jones.
it's kind of funny. It's like you're seeing double. You know, it's like
Yeah. Maybe I should check on him. Yeah.
Can you spot the differences? Whose turn?
Mitch, Ben. I mean.
Okay, cool. Nizai Russell Howard.
Oh, Nizai Rick Duke Common.
We
Nizai
have
Adal.
14 minutes.
Yep, we're on track.
Yeah, so we
Nizai-
have 14 minutes to do around what 160.
Yep.
160-ish.
Nizai Alex Filipenko.
Nizai Joe Flynn.
Nizai Alexander Shulchin.
Nizai Mike Brown, aka the doppelganger of Bill Gates.
Nizai Dan Fogler.
Nizai Bill Dana.
160.
Nizai Joe E. Brown.
Nizai John Melendez.
Nizai Herbert Cromer.
Nizai Harry Hill.
Nizai Mike Marino.
Nizai Zach Kaplan.
Nizai Steve Guttenberg.
Nizai Robert Reich.
Nizai Carlos Alazraki.
Nizai Paul Provenza.
Nizai Eugene Levy.
Nizai Stephen Muffat.
Nizai Robert Fogel.
Nizai Alexei Sale.
Nizai Nate Silver.
Lucky.
Nizai Sudesh Leary.
Nizai Scott Flansburgh.
Nizai Carlo Rubia.
Nizai Steven Schneider.
Nizai Keegan Michael Key.
Oh, nice.
There he is.
Nizai Chris Smott.
Sabbath.
He's Jack Steinberger.
Nizai Andy Bumatai.
Nizai Eddie Della Seep.
Nizai Mike Rose.
I'd be thinking.
Nizai George Wallace.
Nizai Hideki Shirakawa.
Nice. Nizai John Friedler. Or Fiedler.
Nizai Victor Sheaf.
Nizai Mark Self-Baked.
Nizai Brian Callan.
Nizai Yoff Keith.
I wonder where we got that picture. Nizai Frank Conniff.
Nizai Jimmy Tarbuck.
Nizai Stanley Baxter.
Lloyd Blancfein.
Nizai Luis de Alba.
Nizai Kevin Hand.
Nizai Bernard Fox.
Nizai Yoichiro Nambo.
Nizai Philip Bruns.
This dude.
Nizai Dennis Akiyama.
Nizai Leonard Stone.
Nizai Thomas Georgians.
Nizai Duncan Norval.
Nizai John Lennox.
Nizai Mark Riddle.
Nizai Don Ferguson.
Nizai Rich Fulcher.
Nizai Bert Cruismans.
Nizai Jimmy Dunn.
Nizai Tahir Bilgek.
Nizai Greg Warren.
Nizai Joshua Molina.
Nizai Jason Byrne.
Nizai Roger McNamee.
Nizai Pierre Lundestad.
Nizai Charles Robinson.
Nizai Abda Salam.
Nizai Dean Cameron.
Nizai Brett Gelman.
Nizai Stephen
100 more.
First.
Nizai Ron Cook.
Nizai Louis Chichang.
Nizai Sean Majumder.
Nizai Andrew Gordon.
Nizai Jahan Glans.
Nizai Maurizio Croza.
Nizai Butch Patrick.
Nizai Harold Hyde Steen Jr.
Nizai Jack Bell.
Nizai Benjamin Krellin.
Nizai Curly Howard.
Nizai John Lovitz.
Nizai Eddie Griffin.
Nizai Alan Kay.
Nizai Pat Cooper.
Nizai Hod Lipson.
Nizai Jurgen Becker.
Nizai Leo Apothekar.
Nizai Chris War.
Nizai Carrie Mullis.
Nizai Mark Lynn Baker.
Nizai Eric Sloven.
Nizai Greg Berendt.
Nizai Pete Cashmore.
Nizai George Church.
Nizai Dennis Day.
He gives me Colbert so much, that guy. Nizai Steve Weinberg.
Nizai Seth Green.
Nizai Bruce McCulloch.
Nizai Charles Kale.
Nizai Tommy Pope.
Nizai Kevin Michael Richardson.
Nizai Thomas Michael Ford.
Nizai Joe Avati.
Nizai Nathaniel Parker.
Nizai Pierre dos Proges.
Nizai Rion Evans.
Nizai Erwin Rose.
Nizai Eric Griffin.
Nizai Nathan Mirvold.
Nizai James Madio.
Nizai Tim Delgado.
Oh, yeah.
Nizai Wayne Brady.
Nizai Dwight Ewell.
Nizai Dan Durda.
Nizai Michael Dreyer.
Nizai Kilu.
Nizai Billy West.
Nizai Ethan Phillips.
Nizai Frank Dilima.
Nizai Arnold Stang.
Nizai Johnny Lever Genamala.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Nizai Steve Rossi.
Nizai Chris Catton.
Catan.
Nizai Adam Yenzer.
Nizai Dr. Larry Quack.
That's horrible. Are you a quack? Are you a quack doctor?
Yeah, that's true.
Nizai Rob. Brown.
Nizai Michael McShane.
Nizai Mark Lowry.
Nizai Richard Herring.
Nizai Richard Peeney.
Nizai Matt Mira.
Nizai Robert Webb.
Nizai Brad Williams.
Nizai William Easterly.
Nizai Nick Guerra.
Nizai Steve Kaufman.
Nizai Francis Crick.
Nizai Richard Eaton.
Mini
Nizai Paul Tastor.
Nizai Sid Davis.
Nizai Cameron Knight.
Nizai Paul Wilson.
Nizai TJ Miller.
Nizai Thomas Mitchell.
Nizai Rick Strasman.
Nizai Paul Casey.
Nizai Sunil Paul.
Nizai Robert Romas.
Nizai Edward Feigenbaum.
Nizai Rob Lindo.
Nizai Ant.
Nizai George Smoot.
Nizai Tom Arnold.
Nizai William Bova.
Nizai Norman Lovett.
Nizai Lee Evans.
Nizai Colin Mockery.
Oh. Nice.
Nizai Nigel Williams.
Nizai Dale Mortensen.
Nizai Harris Rosling.
Hans.
Oh, Hans.
Nizai Bill Melendez.
Nizai Ben Goldacre.
Nizai Tito Perez.
Nizai Peter Newman.
Nizai Tom McGrath. Take us home.
Boom. Last one. Nizai Seth Whitebird. Bum, bum, bum. Great job, everyone. That turned out perfect for the time and everything. The new sample server looks amazing. And I think we all felt the Nizai, man, they were popping. I felt really, really, really great about that. I wrote down, I didn't find how anything was ticking me at all. Okay, so I'm gonna hold you guys up. We'll go ahead and call it for tonight. That's just what we wanted to do. I will email you, Ben, about the options for next Sunday's choice. Sound good?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I just have a quick question. You know, it's pretty high level. I'm pretty sure it'll be quick.
Okay.
I'm just curious. Do you think maybe like we were talking about both like the survey as well as like making the sample server include the lower gear queues and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Which do you think you would like me to work on first, just at a high level?
At high level, I think that actually the survey will come after the game is complete. So probably the gears first.
I see. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Even though like the gears are probably like a little bit more complicated to implement, I feel like we will have a better understanding of like what we want the surveys to be.
Exactly.
Like it's like the surveys. Yeah, it's not really complicated, but we don't really know exactly what we want to look
It's
like,
going to be
you know?
small and rather simple, but we won't really know what that small simple is until the game is more fully mocked up.
Yeah, yeah. And then at that point, we'll probably have a better idea of like how like other ways we can branch out into gamification for sample server 2, I imagine.
Definitely.
So I think that's a really good piece of functionality to have, is like the other ways you can take quizzes and stuff.
Yeah,
really good.
for sure. Okay, I look forward to it. So we have quite a few things we can have fun with. The first gear update, second gear update, and then also playing around with the background stuff. So a lot of cool new fun stuff. Plus just embossing the various buttons and boxes a little bit too. So it's already looking great. Like when we first started, wow. And I plan on, after this first run of Gender Mojo Purification, I'm going to go through and do a picture upgrades. So that'll also help to the overall, immersion and kind of blinginess of it. All right.
Yeah.
So if is there anything else, we'll go and call it, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay. Have a great night, everyone. Nice work.
Good night.
Good night.